JDs and Letterman, welcome to the ASSCA National Series, and we're here at the crown jewel of Indianapolis, where 42 drivers are going to go for the first and inaugural win here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is a very similar package to the Monza race that we ran and that we will run again later in the season, but this is also the regular season finale. There are a lot of opportunities for drivers to lock their way in with winning. For example, SpongeBob here. He's only here to win this race. He is not here to try and get points because points are pretty much out of his playbook. There's some drivers wanting to point their way in, one of them being Justin Tallgeier, who is close on the bubble. Speaking of the points bubble, let's take a look at that right now. And as you can see, it is tight. Nobody is locked in whatsoever when it comes to points. So it's going to come down to this race. And this race is also going to reflect maybe what cars are going to be good for Monza, maybe. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm excited. But of course, we do have to get into what happened last week, and that is, of course, the injury report, which is pretty small this time around. Corey Crime was involved in a couple big accidents, but one of them was worse than another, and he ended up getting massive Chris from that accident. But the elephant in the room, if you will, was the incident that happened on the second lap of the race, which had the two drivers, Aero 404 driver not found, and to form a pressure clot, flipping violently, doing tricks on it for free, no down payments, whole bunch of hoopla going on. And Aero 404 driver not found has been glitching again. This happened to him, I believe, last season as well. And I believe the same replacement as last season, Algorithm, will take over the 44 car. And it's a shame because Nephew Motorsports is pretty good when it comes to this specific package. We saw it last season at Monza with Leland Funnyman winning the race. Now, to form a pressure clot, he was in it as well, and he got out of the car, was dizzy as hell, puked on the ground, and then fell into the puke. He face planted into his own puke. He's dizzy AF. Dr. Steve Basil told me if he didn't end up face planting into his own vomit, he would have probably been out for 3 weeks. But he'll only be out 1 week. Aero 404 driver not found, out 2 weeks, or 2 races, if you will. And that's all that. And we're back. Now, you might be wondering what happened to the ASSCA series, the regional series. Coke Zero Stadium was literally rained out. The whole place filled like a bowl. We're probably not going to race there. It's probably just off the schedule. So tune in to whatever race is next. We might have that for you at the end of the race. We might not. But regardless, tune into that when you want to. But let's get in to the unsponsored starting grid. Let's jump code as we take a look at the helicopter cam for the starting grid. Masturbation is on pole today. Star Motorsports did really good for qualifying, but so did Nephew Motorsports. We'll get into that as it goes. Masturbation shares his row with Empty Pockets, but then you have their teammates of not Cyan Blaney. I almost said it again, but I'm afraid you might be in a gang. They need to run different paint schemes or something. And then you have Leland Funnyman, Monza races winner last season. The package is very, very, very similar, so I expected this. And as you can see, it's a similar situation here again. Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico and then Algorithm share the third row. Then you have the 45 of Ross Chestpain, and then Mike has put Connor Eats Daily into the 55 here, a fan favorite at this specific racetrack. Chippy Ahoy, another Nephew Motorsports car. All 4 of their cars ended up qualifying in the top 10. Love to see it. And Big Earn, who was supposed to be in the regional series race yesterday, but of course the place filled up like a bowl with water and rain, so unfortunately that is just not able to happen. So he's running this race here today. Aiden Clott in the 28 has his car in the top 12, and then beside him Filling in for Teforma is Uncle Boobs. We didn't really go over that in the injury report, but Uncle Boobs is taking over the 77 for the one race. Teforma will be out. Detective Bluto Mind Pretzel and Stacy. Stacy remains the current points leader, and it's practically on lock. As long as she doesn't finish in the bottom 5 spots, she's practically got this regular season championship on lock, which is cool to see. Bop Racing being here. The 39 of Amber, and then the sickly dying man has one chance to make the playoffs before I say you're done. You're done for the year. If he doesn't make the playoffs, this could be the last time we see him in one of these cars, but who knows? Then you have Gwendy 444 the fourth and Ariana Grenade. Ariana Grenade was also supposed to be in the regional series race just a little bit ago. Here is the 11 of Corey Crime and the 9 of Hubba Bubba Wallace. Good to see them in the field sharing a row. Teammates, same thing with here. This is Blackjack and Pete Nutbutter sharing a row as well. Another rookie shares a row with Simicant Standardbits Jr., or Simicant Standardbits Senior, I mean. Those cars look so similar, I'm sorry. And that is Chug a Beer beside him. Cyber Zed won at Auto Club. And then you have Small Medium Fat in the 7 who needs to lock in because his points situation is grim as hell. SpongeBob is here for one thing only, and that is to try and win this race. Mr. Left Sides is in a great spot in points. He's had some really good runs as of lately, so we'll see how that will go. Melanoma won the Poop Festival race, and then the week after, Hoff Rick comes in his part-time start at Talladega and wins that. So they're both on lock for the playoffs. They're just hoping to have a clean race here today. Not the speed they were hoping for, and two cars that they are somewhat aligned with here. Riley Gerbert for Ware Racing. Last time we saw him was Daytona, so it's been a long time. But then you've also got Ricky Ticky Bobby Wobbin in the 68, who's in a relatively good spot in the points situation. Justin Tallgeier is hoping to have a way better finishing result than his starting spot. And same thing with Mr. Sweaty Beast, who is in the points battle. Aggressive was able to win at Gauntlet. Lucky him, am I right or what? And then you have Dog Barks, who was very, very heartbroken at the fact that Coke Zero Stadium flooded last night. The Demon of Oil in the 56 is still in the points mix, but the Poop Festival crash really did hurt his points chances. And then you have blue-collared Austin Hillbilly here in the 21. He's also in the points fight, by the way. Aunt Tim in the 07, Dale Bernhardt Jr. in the 8. Two people that are really hoping to just, have a really good run here, maybe build some momentum on. We'll see how that will go for them. And rounding out the field in the 17 and 33, it's Buster Guts and Lawful Allen. So, it's Crown Jewel time. Mason, it's your turn.
Drivers, start your engines!
Woohoo! Now, something to note, because it is a crown jewel, just like Monza, we will have single file restarts only, but the difference between this race and Monza is that we won't have any overtime. If a caution comes out close enough to the end of the race, that'll be it, right? They'll pace around for the last few laps, and that's it. But right now, Masturbation on pole, he'll lead them to green. Empty Pockets there, tried to get in line to second. It doesn't work out. And a huge run here for Leland Funnyman now. And Masturbation misses out on the bottom lane here, and they are going to train by here using the draft, and Leland Funnyman will come back to lead lap number 1 with this crazy pack of cars behind. Let's see if the ticker is working properly, and it is. Let's party. That's currently showing the qualifying times, however, so it hasn't updated yet, but it's here, and that's what matters. I'm afraid you might be in a gang now to the inside of Leland Funnyman here. It's looking like it's going to be Star Motorsports versus Nephew Motorsports. 4 drivers apiece, 4 cars apiece. 2 of them right now apiece up front. You see Chippy Ahoy now trying to get back into the mix here. The bottom lane is just going to steamroll past these cars that use the top, but they're arching the corner way better, which is giving them more speed down the straightaways. Big Earn now coming into the mix, as Masturbation cycles back to the lead from pole. Big Earn in second, Chippy Ahoy third. Chippy Ahoy with Connor Eats Daily, and the yellow is out. So something has happened towards the back of the field, I'm assuming, because it doesn't look like anything's happened up here. But Masturbation leads the way as he takes the yellow flag. Aggressive, slow Corey Crime with a bit of damage. Riley Gerbert as well. Doesn't look like it was a major incident, and that's always good to see. Let's take a look at what happened. Alright, so remember what I said about it not being that big? I kind of lied a little bit. This is Corey Crime, Riley Gerbert. They're just going to turn down, and a huge crash for Corey Crime up and over on top of Justin Tallgeier and shit. Massive incident. Not a whole lot of damage, though. He gets going again. Aggressive goes around.
Aggressive don't go around.
Taking a look at Aggressive here. He's right behind this crash as it happens. They get into it, and Aggressive
Goes around into the wall. And then aggressive goes around. And aggressive goes around. And aggressive goes around.
Welcome back to Indy. Chippy Ahoy just blew up from second place. And now the Nephew Motorsports camp is definitely worrying a bit, as that includes some other cars in their camp that could have the same issue. So Chippy Ahoy with issues. Masturbation will continue to lead. Big Earn will be second on this restart. Connor Eats Daily. Give a call to Connor Eats Daily in the 55. Doing a good job today. Lap 7. Already almost a fifth through the race. Good to see here from this good old crown jewel. The good old hockey game is the best game you can name, or something along the verge of those lines. Masturbation is leading. Big Earn second. Connor Eats Daily third. Ross Chestpain fourth. And Amber round out the top 5 with Chippy Ahoy having issues. Let's go back. Rain from Indy. Boy. And it's now a lot less likely to see a big accident that could take out a lot of people. The racing here is going to be very, very aggressive, but it's also going to be very, very tame, in my opinion. We're still going to see the occasional crash because people will get very aggressive, especially late in the race, trying to get towards the front, but it's going to be a lot more tame than your typical ASSCA or TOECAR race. And I'm here for it. This crown jewel has quite the aura to it. Very important to these drivers. And I'm here for it, as Connor Eats Daily, a fan favorite here, leads now in the 55 for Mike and Plot 55. Big Earn could be a player today in this 81 car. So could Ross Chestpain. Big Earn with a big block. The Earn Intimidator trying to stay in the lead. And he's going to try and get by the 55 now as well. The Earn Intimidator versus the big man that doesn't stop eating, but is a fan favorite. Big Earn to the race lead, but Connor Eats Daily led at the line. for lap number 10. We're a fifth through the race here as Ross Chestpain goes to the race lead. Black Jack in the 5 now, coming through the field here. They're 3 wide back there. And you see Leland Funnyman wisely backed out and said, I don't need this. I'm going to let you guys go at it. I'll live to see another day here. Huge run for Big Earn. Massive run, some might say. Low tip. Big block again from the Earn Intimidator on Black Jack. He's going to have some huge help here from Amber. And she's going to go up to the top. She wants the top lane. Big Earn was obviously supposed to race yesterday in the regional series until, of course, Coke Zero Stadium or Coliseum, whatever you call it, flooded and became a swimming pool, really. Lurkus texted me that he swam yesterday in the Coke Zero Coliseum flood, and now his arms won't bend. So that's always something to have happen to you. Clearly a top 5 canon event of all time. Big Earn to the race lead. Huge. After the race at Big Blue, it was an alright race for him. Another great showing of speed, but just not the finish to really show for it. As he tries to back up here to Pete Nutbutter, who's not really wanting to work with him here. And that'll give Leland Funnyman a great opportunity to kind of figure out, how do these runs generate? How am I going to have to block when the race gets to the end? And we'll find out here very soon, as I almost choked and died. Big Earn to the race lead. Once again. In the 81, the Earn Intimidator is back out front, and Connor Eats Daily second. 3 part-time drivers are 1, 2, 3 right now. Give a call to Algorithm. If I'm not mistaken, he replaced Aero 404 driver not found at Avis last season, which was also the regular season finale last season. So good to see they're keeping a little bit of a theme going here, as Big Earn will lead again. This might be one of the best green flag stretches of racing, apart from Auto Club, obviously, this season. Auto Club was peak, let me tell you. I've been hearing rumblings around, as there's some dirt and shit. Riley Gerbert might have kicked that up. Chug a Beer with issues, it looks like, coming down pit road and shit. I've heard rumblings around the regional series schedule that it's possible next season we go to Richmond twice. With the Coke Zero Coliseum thing kind of falling apart, it would make a little bit of sense, I guess. But hear me out, I think that's a good track regardless. We've obviously got some crazy good tracks that we haven't gone to yet that could be, for the playoffs, could be off the schedule, right? We've got Kansas, we've got Riki, we've got CRI that could potentially be on the schedule. Then we have, of course, our Crown Jewel at Monza, which will be on the schedule at some point. You have Avis. There's a whole lot to think about. Some of these guys are hoping to plan for the future here, and this is a great spot to prepare for Monza coming up, where the setups are pretty much identical. There's only a couple minor changes. And right now, if you're a Nephew Motorsports driver, you're loving the fact that Monza's currently in the playoffs, because that's going to give you a great chance to make some moves. The Sickly Dying Man leading the second group back there. Now it's Black Jack. Still cool to see that he's competitive up here, trying to get the win. As Hoff Rick makes a look, and here comes Melanoma, his teammate, 4th and 5th right now for PM Racing, as Big Ern will take lap 18, 3rd lap on the day. That's his number reversed. As someone calls me a medical ambulance, let's take a look at some drivers to take note of. Riley Gerbert is well off the pace. Same thing with Corey Crime and others. So Corey Crime's chances of postseason eligibility are practically down the toilet and up someone's butt. But, get it? As Lurkus dials 911, Leland Funnyman is out front once again. The 81 back to the inside, and that will give him the race lead once again. There's certain players at the front that are kind of staying around, Leland Funnyman being one of them, Blackjack, I guess you could argue that, Big Ern, Melanoma. There's some players at the front that just aren't going away, you know what I mean? And that's showing that they have a good car. Big Ern and Dale Bernhardt Jr., they are teammates, right? And they're both Bernhardt Enterprise cars. Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly, he's an 8-ball motorsports car, but he's an affiliate car for Bernhardt Enterprises. All 3 cars are running completely different setups. Dale Bernhardt Jr. is running something different than the other 2. Big Ern's running something different from the other 2. Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly is running something different than the other 2. And clearly, whatever they did with Big Ern's setup is clearly working. But Melanoma's out front, the defending champ, who is already playoff bound this season, is going for it. Now, I asked Big Ern, what are you going to do if you make the playoffs? Like, what's the schedule look like? You know, is Bernhardt Enterprises covering the schedule? He said, oh yeah. And I said, what about the regional series? And he said, what about it? And I said, well, are you going to do both? And he said, absolutely. So if Big Ern wins this race here today, we're going to see him every race for the rest of the season, really, given no injuries or, you know, fatality or anything like that occur, as Riley Gerbert is in the way, and they had a chance to move out of the way, but now they're going to use him as a bit of a draft here. And Big Ern way to the outside with the lap car. Oh, somebody hit the wall. Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico straight into the wall. Fifth lap led for Big Ern on the day, and Masturbation, the pole sitter, coming back. 3 Toyotas there, all going to go by this Ford. It's been a rough year for Riley Gerbert. We haven't been posting the the qualifying results and stuff like that, or updating you on DNQs. Riley Gerbert has DNQ'd 4 times this season. 4 times. Now, given it's mostly an owner's points thing, right? Remember, bottom 6 spots are owner's points set instead of time. And usually the 51's close to making it in on time, but then he just doesn't. But still, 4 times not qualifying for a race. That is quite tragic, if I'm going to be 1,000% honest and transparent. Where is everyone else? Big Ern already making moves, coming back through the field. He's got a great car. Bernhardt Enterprises is giving him great cars. You see here, though, Dale Bernhardt Jr. is not far off of Big Ern. So, just something to note of there. Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly, on the other hand, something happened in that we didn't even see, but Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly is further back, but Dale Bernhardt Jr. is obviously the furthest back. Blackjack is leading the race, and we have a yellow for something that has happened. Oh boy. Halfway, by the way. Damn. Taking a look at this shit. Algorithm is in the middle of 3 wide here. And there's just contact with Mr. Left Sides, the sickly dying man, Gwendy, 444 the fourth. Nail hit the wall, and then Buster Guts just flies in and hits the 44. So not a whole lot of, basically a whole lot of hoopla going on back there. So let's go back green here with the 5 of Blackjack out front. Pit stop, pit stop, pit stop. Everybody's pitting. Literally everybody is pitting. Like the entire field has come down pit road. Hoff Rick looks like he's going to come out in the lead. Masturbation's credited with the lap led because he was the first to cross the line in reality. So Hoff Rick will be the race leader. Or at least it looks that way. Aero 404 driver not found's replacement. I saved myself. Algorithm is still in the mix. He's not a lap down or anything. They fixed the car up. He's good to go. Yeah. So Hoff, Rick, Algorithm, Big Earn will be the top 3. Welcome back here to Indy. Everybody's trying to catch up right now. Oh no! Amber and the 44 have an issue. Shit, man, what's going on? Regardless, Hoff Rick is leading the race. He's led 2 laps today, looking for 3. He won the race off pit road, plain and simple. Blackjack was the leader before we went to yellow. He's in 5th. Lawful Allen. I need to remind you guys, Lawful Allen came 2nd at Monza last season. This team has the setup for that type of track kind of dialed in. So it's no surprise to see them up here as well at all. But green flag is out. Excusez-moi. And Big Earn already looking to the inside of Hoff Rick. So there should be no fuel confusion. I'm going to say that right now. We've had some fuel confusion in the past with some races, and it's honestly pissed me off. So we're not going to have that again. There's just no possible way I see that happening whatsoever. But who knows? Big Earn's looking for lap 6 led on the day, and it's going to happen. He and Masturbation continue to lead. Masturbation's going to move him up the track. And he's going to have a fellow Toyota there in Blackjack and Lawful Allen. And I'm afraid you might be them damn cheating Yoders. It's no surprise to see Lawful Allen towards the front with the setups being so similar to Monza. They had a great race at Monza last season, I must admit. And they're really excited for that, and that's why they're hoping they can, get something done here, because it will be huge. I hear crashes. I hear crashes. Okay, I'm just stupid then. What the hell? Who is that? Who is that? God damn it. Kill everybody. Big Earn is in pit road. Something happened with that car, we're hearing. Why not at this point? Like at this rate, that's how it's been. That's how it's been. But the 22 back out front. The 51 is kind of in the way here, or he will be at some point. Masturbation, though, is going to set up a pretty good pass here. Move the 51 out of the way a little. Push him up the track. And have that all done and settled with. And SpongeBob's going to move the 22 out of the way. That's huge. Almost as huge as Denise Fat on a Tuesday. But Masturbation still leads. This will be lap number 7, I believe, on the day. Sponge Bop to the race lead. Cyber Zed second, Blackjack third, Lawful Allen fourth, Mr. Sweaty Beast in fifth. If you showed this to somebody last season, they would have killed you because they would have said, "What is this order?" But here we are. The 97's slower. They won't catch him, I don't think, for at least a little bit. Now we're hearing Hoffrick, Big Earn, and others that just pitted took only fuel. And in return, their cars were undrivable. And to be fair, that's what everyone assumed the strategy was. But you know, some of those guys were up front way longer. So you know what? Makes sense. Not what you want to see though for the 81 team. They had 6 laps led on the day. Until they pitted, they had the most laps led on the day as well. As of right now, Nephew Motorsports has ceased to exist this entire second half of the race. The entire second half. The 70's trying to plan some sort of run as they now try and get by the 44 of Aero 404 driver not found. Huge run for Blackjack. And around goes Empty Pockets, wrecking in front of the crowd. They're coming in, they're flying in. They're flying in. Oh no, oh no! It's still a sewage party at the front of the field. Oh no, and not in front of the crowd again! Dale Bernhardt Jr. and others, and Cyber's head's not slowing down. Nobody's slowing. Where are we going? Oh my goodness, Dr. Seuss. Good Lord. Shoot everybody. Kill all the interns because of that. Because it's their fault. SpongeBob out front. I don't know what the hell just happened. Taking a look at Empty Pockets here, and he is just blocking down on his teammate Masturbation, the pole sitter. And just in front of everybody, this wreck happens. Oh no! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Taking a look at the 70 here of I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang, and Star Motorsports imploded, bro. All 3 cars that were towards the front here just all get taken out. And you see I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang gets hit once, twice, 3 times, and then here comes Chug a Beer flying in. The 70's doing tricks on it for free. No down payments are needed. And comes to rest upsidey downsies. Oh no. This is going to be the last replay on Pronk. So, this is Chug a Beer here. The wreck's going to start. We're going to watch him plow. We're going to watch him channel his inner Babe Juth here. Rex started already. Going into the grass and shit to avoid. And the 70's just there. Now in the same replay, because we're cheap as hell and can't afford to keep using replay footage, you're going to see here, this is the 44, and he's going to block the 65 for some reason because he's stupid as hell. And then here comes literally everybody. Oh my god, stop that! Yeah, and they just start plowing in. Like, what are we doing, guys? And then Corey Crime gets involved. Just everyone's in it. It's the everyone. Let's go back green here. This could be the end of this race. Welcome back to Indy. Some unfortunate truths here. Detective Little Mind Pretzel is going to miss the postseason here unless a miracle happens. It looks like same will be said for I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang, Ross Chest Pain, Mr. Left Sides. Some really good cars are going to be missing the playoffs, and that is for sure. Yeah. Uncle Boob's doing a good job filling in for To Form a Pressure Clot. In 20th, the Sickly Dying Man still in the mix, 15th place. It also looks like it's possible Corey Crime going to miss the playoffs here. And unfortunately, it also does look like it's going to be the exact same story for Amber. All pending a miracle, right? Like, I'm talking like we need a big-ass accident to take out half the field so these guys can just, you know, kind of attrition their way to top 20s type of situation. That's what they're needing. SpongeBob is going to take a tie now to the most laps led of the day with 8 at the line. And that tie will be with Masturbation. So this could mean a lot here. If they tie, by the way, both drivers get the point. So if it stays a tie, which I don't think it will at this rate, because look at the absolute crazy launch speed this Ford just had. It's very likely that SpongeBob is going to lead another lap here today, but Blackjack with the help from Melanoma to the inside. Blue-collared Austin Hillbilly, they made so many adjustments on that car during their pit stop. They went like straight to the back. They almost fell a lap down, and it's paying off. Huge, big time. As Blackjack will lead his second lap of the day. Aiden Clot there pushing Aunt Tim, trying to get something going on the bottom here. A couple of the Bop Racing cars back there as well are looking to do something, as the yellow is out for something that happened probably in the back of the field. Oh no. I think I have an idea of who was involved. Caution's out here at Indy. We're setting up for a dash to the finish. I don't know what happens to Corey Crime, so I'm just going to let it play. This is going to be my initial reaction. Oh, he just gets turned by Detective Bluto Mind Pretzel up the track. Oh! And that's all that she wrote on that. Corey Crime's season is pretty much done. Championship hopes up in smoke. Basically went up in smoke since Daytona, but Blackjack's out front. Let's go back green and finish this race off. Welcome back to Indy, where this will be the final restart of the race. I just don't see a universe where if we have a caution, we could get this thing back going, but it is maybe possible, but assuming we get like 1 or 2 green flag laps in, this is it. So it's time to lock in, you know. Melanoma, SpongeBob, in the mix. You've got Aunt Tim still looking for that first career win. Blue Collar Austin Hillbilly does really good in the draft. This is kind of that type of thing. Stacy practically locking the regular season championship at this rate. It's all up to this. We've had a massive crash with I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang, Chug a Beer. I know Mr. Left Sides was involved. And a whole bunch of others. To start the race, though, the first incident that really happened was Chippy Ahoy had a mechanical issue. First DNF of the day, so another DFL result for Nephew Motorsports. Not what they want to see. Let me tell you, they've all had hardships here today. All of them. All 4 cars have had tragic days, really. And same thing goes for the Star Motorsports cars, as all 3 of the cars that were up front were involved in that big accident I just mentioned earlier. And yeah, but there's still a race to be won. And right now, Blackjack is in prime position to take it away, but you've got SpongeBob pushing Melanoma like crazy. Aunt Tim goes with Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly as well. They all go with the momentum. Melanoma to the race lead. Four to go at the line. And the caution's out! And the caution is out! The caution is out as Melanoma takes the yellow out front. This might end the race. It'll take a lot to get this thing back on the road. Melanoma is out front as the yellow comes out very, very late in this race. This is huge. PM Racing has had quite the last 2 weeks, or 2 races. Wouldn't this be quite something? To go back to back to back in your first 3 race wins. Let's take a look at what brought out this yellow here from Indy. I'm going to be 130% here with you. I just know how the 18 and 56 are in the crash, so I actually have no idea how it starts. So we're going to find out together. Leland Funnyman, really the only Nephew Motorsports car left, is just going to get turned. And Gwendy 444 the fourth just didn't slow down a whole lot, and that was the crash that brought Melanoma to the race lead and possibly the race win here. Oh man. Is that a Brad Oman reference? Welcome back here to Indy. Coming to the white flag. The lights are still on the pace car. So as long as this 76 car doesn't break down or have any issue like that, this race is over. And Melanoma will end up being the eventual race winner of the inaugural Crown Jewel here at Indianapolis for the ASSCA TOECAR Development Series. This is huge momentum for this team. They've won the Poop Festival race. They won last week at Talladega, or last race, I mean. 2 races ago, they win the Poop Festival with Melanoma. Last race, they win Talladega with Hoff Rick. And here they are now on the final lap of this crown jewel, out front of the field once again with their defending champ. Let me tell you, dude, Retro Racing made a huge mistake letting this guy go. And at the very start of the season, it looked grim. It looked very grim. It didn't look like this was going to work, right? It didn't look like this driver-team pair was working out. So while we're doing this at the moment, shout out to SpongeBob, shout out to Black Jack as well. 2 drivers that were really up there all day. They did a great job today. Ant Tim with a great run. You've got Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly. They adjusted some really good components of that car during their pit stop. Aiden Klott, the momentum for Klottenheimer continues after Harold's crazy win at Talladega. Fan favorite win. Stacy has locked in the regular season championship, obviously, in the 38 here. Her teammate Ariana Grenade with an 8th place to start out her time at Bop Racing in the National Series. I think that's a pretty good start. Mr. Sweaty Beast in 9th. Hubba Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 10. Ricky Ticky Bobby Wobbin 11th. Justin Tallgeier 3rd. The Sickly Dying Man 13th. Cyber Zed 14th. Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico in 15th place. But none of that shit matters now, because as they cross the line, down the front stretch, under caution, for a special race, it's going to be a legend of this series that takes the checkered flag, and that is Melanoma, who wins again, solidifying his GOAT status in this series. Unbelievable. You love to see it. Timed the run perfectly. So, with that being done, we will be right back with the results of this race and the playoff field. Oh boy. Let's take a look at the results here. Melanoma with a great run today. He was able to capitalize on that late caution and kind of an early caution in the restart to get the race win here. SpongeBob, he was that close, man. If this race went one more lap under green, he probably would have been the one celebrating here today. There's not a whole lot to really go over in terms of the race results. Obviously, there was a big wreck in the back of the field. Of the results, it included Chug a Beer, Mr. Left Sides, and I'm Afraid You Might Be in a Gang, some notable drivers that were involved, and it did cost a couple of them their postseason spot. So I think that it is time, right, without further ado, at this rate, it's time to get down to business. Here is ASSCA's Season 6 postseason drivers. Melanoma, Cyber Zed, Aggressive, Stacy, and Hoff Rick made it in on a win. And as you can see, the 1,000 points next to them shows that they were the race winners to put them at the top of the list. Then, the drivers making it in on points. Blue Collared Austin Hillbilly was 13 points above the cut line. Then, Chug a Beer and Aiden Klott were both tied, 7 points above the cut line. Masturbation, 6 points above the cut line. Ricky Ticky Bobby Wobbin, 4 points over the cut line. Black Jack, 3 points over the cut line. And rounding out the playoff field, Mr. Sweaty Beast, 2 points above the cut line. That makes the playoff 12. Some notable teams are in this mix. Blackjack wasn't really in the mix of the points, really, until this race played out. And that's what we were talking about. You needed a good result to kind of guarantee it. Nobody was safe. Mr. Left Sides looked to be up there. He ends up almost 20 points back. It was insane to see. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's going to be fun. We've got an 8-ball motorsports car. We've got 2 PM racing cars. We've got a BOP racing car, Cyclone Motorsports. You've got Team Cyber Z. You've got a 23XXL car, a Star Motorsports car, a Klottenheimer car, Alpha Performance Services car, a Lucky Sevens racing car, and you have an Alzheimer's Motorsports car. So completely open to anybody right now. One team really that's noteworthy that didn't make it into the playoffs, a Nephew Motorsports car. None of them were able to capitalize. So yeah, headed into the playoffs. Amber is the first one out on the playoff cut line. Gwendy for the 4th misses by 4 points. Then you had Justin Tallgeier miss by 6. Sorry, that's 8 points. My bad. Hubba Bubba Wallace, same thing. Mr. Left Sides misses out. I thought it was by more actually, but it isn't. It was by 9. The Demon of Oil was way up there in the points. He ends up all the way down in 18th. The Sickly Dying Man wraps out in 20th on the point standings. Just a lot to think about there. So, it's time. We're resetting. A 3-race points round is on the horizon. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to play out. But there is still a whole lot to go over tomorrow and Friday. Tune in then. TOECAR will be at Toddring Super Speedway for their regular season finale in the Goodies Trash Series. Catch Star Motorsports' Generic Jones hoping to capitalize right now on the bubble for the cut line in that series. And then you have the Splint Cup Series heading to Pocono for their regular season finale. Who makes the playoffs? Who does not? What chaos will occur? Find out tomorrow and Friday. And then we'll be back. Wow. We'll be back next week, wherever we're going to be. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching this. Love to be here. It's awesome. Congrats to Melanoma. What a win. Goodbye. I didn't know he looked like that. He earned that shit, dude. Wow. Damn.